With the eye constantly watching everywhere you go, what does this actually mean for Lo? As the mirror breaks and Lo is left behind on the other side, yet another kid is trapped within the terrible realm of nowhere in Little Nightmares 3. This time, he is not alone. With the mall nowhere in sight, the question is, how will Lo return home? This is the full explanation and breakdown of Little Nightmares 3 story and the ending. This is a standalone game that takes place in the Little Nightmares universe. This tiered entry follows two new protagonists, Lo and Alone, but a sight of a mysterious mirror shows a glimpse of Lo's old life, an escape route from the hell he wakes up in, and behind him is a broken mirror with shattered glasses. As he awakes from his dream of the mirror to the promised land, he now knows where he must go if he ever wants to escape. With Alone by his side and a map to guide them, they begin their sweet escape. Little Nightmare 3 starts things off just like Little Nightmares 1. Lo wakes up surrounded by piles of suitcase in the mall. The door looks like something you'd find in a submarine, and we see a broken mirror which proves we are in the mall. Mirrors are already part of Little Nightmares lore, but they were destroyed by the lady on the mall. All but one, a handheld mirror which would be her demise at the hand of 6. Here, mirrors act as a gateway for children to use as a means of teleportation, just like Mono's power and TVs. A reason these were broken, apart from it being the lady's kryptonite, was to stop these children from escaping the realm of nowhere. The chapters of Little Nightmares 3 seem to exist as a manifestation of Lo's childhood trauma. This version of nowhere is dreamlike, where monsters show up throughout, linking Lo to the creatures that keep trying to kill him. The first chapter takes place in Necropolis, which is defined as a ceremony belonging to an ancient city. Necropolis is a city made up of huge stone walls. The interiors are filled with dust. A thick fog and sandstorm coats the land, which makes it impossible for you to see where the city starts and ends. Necropolis looks like an hourglass, but houses a monstrous threat. The baby. Crows are present here, but they do not have much to eat as the monster baby turns everything that moves into stone, just like Medusa. This monster acts like the eye we repeatedly saw in Little Nightmares, but in this case, the baby transforms residents into its toys. Residents leave the air until the monster baby arrived, using its glowing eyes to peek through curtains and delivering a devastating afterglow in the sky that has never yet settled. Funny enough, the monster baby's main duty is to stand still and survey the area for any movements like a security camera would. The candy factory is ominous because we see hundreds of guests moving in and out of it on conveyor belts. The guests are from the mall and they would become rabid at the sight of a child, and the lady would absorb the essence of these children, transforming them into gnomes. This means the food in nowhere is the flesh of its residents and children. The meat hanging up in Little Nightmares freezer are human shaped, and we see Minikin who enjoys consuming human flesh. The guests also work hard to mass produce sweets, while others are ground down into candy, all stuck in a trance by the strange broadcast from the television. The supervisor is a multi-limbed creature that looks like a spider. This can be interpreted as Lo's fear for spiders and insects, because beetles also live in the necropolis. This factory exists to get children addicted to candy, so they do not leave, and by them not leaving, they are slowly transformed into little nightmares, just like 6. The candy junkyard represents overconsumption and waste. Like the story of Epstein, the leading antagonist of this chapter is the kin, who forces children to perform as entertainers at the Carnevale. Instead of consuming the children that get lost or kidnapped in nowhere, he uses them for entertainment. Falling asleep to the static television is responsible for twisting the shape of so many creatures before him. The kin looks like a ventriloquist, with a living hand, Minikin, that can come off whenever it wants. The kin's main duty is to force children to entertain the carnival goers, the herd, who participate in violent games and magic shows. The Carnevale puppets are similar to Little Nightmare's two bullies. Are these children transformed into wooden marionettes to keep the herd at the carnival entertained? You see, this version of Nowhere acts like a conveyor's belt. Everything here is recycled. The herd move on to the carnival after stuffing themselves on the mall, just to be transported into the candy factory through hot air balloons, where they are turned into food or turned into mindless walkers. Everything becomes a shell to the will of the eye, which takes away your essence as it stays awake while everyone sleeps. Everything seen has in many ways been impacted by the eye in Little Nightmares. The perception and camera angle of the series points to the players being the eye itself, and there's also a ton of evidence pointing towards Supermassive Games' vision of Nowhere being more psychological than physical. The Institute is a real place Lo was forced to spend time in, as the cell is the same one we see in flashbacks. We see the overseer of the Institute as a monster whose limbs can wrap around the Institute corridors. This symbolizes how this character is everywhere, thus making it impossible for Lo to escape. This explains why both the monster baby and the overseer of the Institute are significantly larger than anything ever seen before in Little Nightmares. The prison cell we revisit after every chapter shows Lo trapped in some type of psychiatric room. Unlike previous entries, Little Nightmare 3 has 3 locations that is centered around children: a candy factory, a carnival, and the Institute, which has spelling blocks, toy trains, and lollipops. Throughout this title, it is heavily hinted that there is something more to the dolls you keep picking up, and in a crazy plot twist, it is revealed at the end of Little Nightmares 3 story that Alone is Lo's imaginary friend. She is a doll that Lo kept holding on to during his time at the Institute, a doll that has magical powers capable of distorting reality back to how it was in the past. She is a product of his imagination throughout his time alone, left with nothing to do but draw. At the end of the game, we see Alone spat out from the mirror as she can only exist in the realm of Nowhere, and without Lo's imagination to keep her alive, she disappears, leaving behind her clothes and goggles, while Lo draws himself and Alone at home atop a hill that will never become a reality. Lo's imagination came to life and acted as his best friend, ensuring he had the courage to keep going. This means it is possible to create something nice in the realm of Nowhere, but it wouldn't last long because the eye will always corrupt everything. Nothing good lasts in the realm of Nowhere. The final scene shows Lo looking at the broken mirror pieces, hoping to fix it so that he may be reunited with Alone. While life on the other side is a lot brighter, it may be another trick. The window is broken, vines spill through the broken glasses, and a torn wallpaper that have seen better days. But where exactly has Lo ended up if he didn't include his family in his drawing of home? Please, if you enjoyed this video, kindly hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell icon so you can get notified when I post new videos like this, as I am desperately trying to hit 1K subscribers by the end of this year. And until next time, peace and love.
Incredible.